And here we go indeed. This Hangout on Air is live, it says in a tiny small box there. So, welcome everybody, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages. Welcome to New York by Night, welcome to the Bronx, and welcome to another scene for Demon the Fallen. And this is a continuation of the scene we shot yesterday where Jacob Demora found himself a part of a crime scene, actually the hero of the story, as he valiantly rescued the lady and kicked the aggressor into submission. And when the police finally came, he was sent on his way, leaving the girl in their capable hands. It is now the following day, late afternoon, and Jacob has just got himself home after another day at the office, another day at school with the same boring job and the same students who were nagging about the grades that they got, and he will hear his phone ringing.
And he will. Jacob picks up his phone and says, "Yes, hello."
And the phone, there is no sound for a while on the other side of the line. And then
Is
you'll
anyone there?
hear a woman's voice. Hello, I believe we met yesterday.
For a moment, Jacob thinks and then goes, "Ah, yes, we did. You're feeling better, I trust."
I am, yes, I am.
I'm,
They checked me, but there was nothing, there was no
I'm,
harm.
I'm glad to hear that. How can I help you?
Well, I wanted to thank you for your assistance, for your help. I don't know what would have happened I, if you hadn't passed by.
I'm uh, I'm happy to help, Miss. Unfortunately, I think I have a pretty good idea of what would have happened, and I couldn't let him. So I'm just happy that you're safe.
And stay silent for a bit, for a few seconds on the other end, and then can hear her make a noise, and then she's like, "Well, can I buy you like a coffee or something? Just wanna
Um,
talk. Well, wanna thank you in person if possible. I have your address, but I thought it would be impolite to just come over. But
Jacob smiles and then he nods and says, "Well, if you truly want to come over, then you're more welcome, more than welcome. I can have some coffee over for whenever you want to come by."
um, yeah, drop by your house. Yeah, okay, I can do that. Yes.
That's not what you were talking about, or?
Well, no. I was more thinking about meeting in a cafe or a restaurant or a
Oh,
coffee
no
house,
problem.
but
If you want to, I think it's better actually if you meet if we meet in my office at the university, if you prefer that.
yeah, that sounds like, yeah, that sounds good. Okay.
Good.
Um, your office at the university. You have an office at the university, right? You're
I'm a professor at Fordham, Miss. I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name.
uh Fisher, Camelia Fisher.
Right. It's a pleasure to meet you, Amelia. My name is Jacob Demora. Yes, I'm a professor in exegetic theology at Fordham. So if you want to, we can simply meet there during office hours, or actually I can go there now if you prefer to meet now. It's no matter to me.
No, office hours are good. It's, I've called in sick for work for a few days, so
Yeah,
yeah.
understandable.
office hours are good. Yeah. So tomorrow then?
That sounds fine.
Okay. Um, and where do I see you? Um, I don't know where your office is.
It is office number 205. If you ask in the reception, they can help you find it. There are also a couple of maps around the university, but ask in the reception. They would be happy to help.
Okay. Yes. Thank you. And you can hear her actually scribbling down the number of your office. 205 reception. Okay. I'll see you tomorrow then.
I will. Have a good night, Amelia.
And you can hear well, Camelia. You can hear her hang up the phone, and yeah, we
Jacob
can.
takes a deep breath and nods before like putting his own phone back in his pocket and going, well, guess there's such a thing as fate after all.
And we will fast forward to the next
Yeah.
day because I'm not gonna make that into yet another scene.
No, no,
I'm,
little
I'm
bit too
not
short.
that awesome and nasty.
Oh
So
gosh.
to the next day it is a very beautiful day. The sun is shining on the office buildings and the grounds of Fordham University. As Jacob once again is sitting in his office, cup of coffee on his desk, probably looking over some student's thesis or
Yeah.
whatever the fuck he has been doing.
Yeah, exactly.
It's lunch break, so you can actually hear the students talking and laughing outside of the buildings as the window is open and leaves in a cool breeze, or lets in a cool breeze, which ruffles some of the papers from time to time. All in all, it is a perfect day, and then there is a knock at the door.
Um, Jacob in during this week has been reading a thesis indeed, and he's been, no, 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 that's not how you conjugate Leo. Come on, you knew you should know this. And then when he hears the knock, he's like snapped out of his nerd mode and goes, oh, enter.
Out of his nerdgasm, huh? Anyway.
Yeah.
Right, people, this is getting awkward really fast. So, without further ado, we will give Jacob a few moments to get his attitude back together
Yeah.
until the door slowly opens and in steps the woman he would recognize. She is in her mid-20s. She could have been actually a student of this school, except for the fact that her clothing doesn't look like the really uh, people from this student from this school usually have a little bit more money to spend, and she doesn't look like the most rich individual around.
Mm,
She's dressed up nice though. You can see that she made an effort to look presentable.
mm,
Um, she she steps forward and she has a big bouquet of flowers with her that she just hands over to you. It's like,
mm.
oh, I don't know. She doesn't even say hello. She just blurts it out. Like, I don't know if you like flowers or not, but I didn't really know what to buy.
Uh,
So I didn't know if you like wine or coffee or chocolate. So I just bought flowers.
he tries to speak, but like he realizes that she's gonna like speak over him anyway. So he waits until she basically stops speaking, and then he smiles. Thank you for the flowers, Camilla. You did not have to do that at all. And then he looks around his office, trying to find something to put the vase to use as a vase, and he actually finds a pitcher of water that he brought uh, to his office and puts them in the pitcher. You did not have to buy me flowers at all, but I thank you. They're lovely. Won't you
Uh,
sit down?
yeah, yeah, sure. I was planning to buy you coffee, but since we were here in the since we were meeting up here, I can't really buy you coffee here, so I
No.
thought just
You,
flowers. Well,
you did not have to buy me anything, but I thank you anyway. And speaking of coffee, he says, and I am going to assume that he has like a water boiler and some instant around the office because like
probably, yeah.
um
There is a larger coffee machine
yeah
like on the it is on the same floor, but it is
yeah
a few offices
yeah
where you can just grab coffee and
yeah
tea and everything if you want. But
so
you might have a
yeah
own separate thing.
yeah and he does and he has a couple of plastic disposable cups and he pours 2 cups of coffee and hands one to her and says, "Well, it's not the best quality coffee, but it's coffee." He smiles and sits down.
She looks up as she's been staring at her knees mostly, and she looks up to smile at you and hand the or grab the coffee.
Mm.
That's okay. I, yeah, thanks. Still, again. Um,
He looks at her and like he sat her at the one part of it like across from him from his desk and he sits behind his desk. And then he leans back a little bit and says, I'm sorry if this seems a little bit weird, Camelia, but you seem nervous and you have no reason to be. I'm not going to do anything to you."
no, I know. It's just that it's a bit awkward to meet up like this. I'm not nervous. Well, she's lying, obviously, but
No.
no. It's just well, I practiced the conversation and I came here and I just lost everything that I wanted to say. So
Actually, it's like I didn't do anything that I would not expect any other man to honest man to do, but um I also have some things to make up for, so I'm glad that I could help you.
well, as you mentioned, honest man. She looks up and she murmurs something like, "Well, there aren't a lot of honest mans then in this world, I guess."
No, unfortunately. Okay. Oh, see, I'm having difficulty trying to find a way to get from these pleasantries to, oh, by the way, look at me.
Well, it's completely up to you here. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna help you with that.
Of course not. It's just like if the
Use your
listeners,
role
if
play talent.
of course, just if the watchers were wondering, were telling me to get a fucking on with it. But as he continues to look at her, he says, "It is true that there are not many honest people left in the world." He says, but that is where he looks at her a little bit and as trying to size her up. It's not like an unpleasant look, and it's not like he's actually he's not judging her, but he's sizing her up, and then he says,
Okay,
um,
as you do that, because I'm going to interrupt you because I will help you out a little here. Basically, what you see, well, you see the woman that I have a picture of. So she has dark, long hair. She looks like she might be a crossover between Latino and Caucasian. She wears a sweater that basically covers up everything, and a pair of leggings. All in all, she looks like she's really slender, thin, yet muscular. You can see a bracelet around her wrist with what appears to be a name, and there is a small necklace with a cross on her neck.
uh,
And if you want to, you can make a perception alertness check to see the name actually, what name it is.
I just did, and nope,
Nope, there is.
the Pope of Nope. Uh, Well, but he does see the cross, I guess.
Hmm.
And he looks at her and says, do you believe in God, Camelia?" With a like, it's not the judging tone, but a normal asking voice.
Um, well, I used to, but no, not anymore.
Hmm.
No, it's too much happens. That's
I
I'm
I
wearing
can
this because it was my grandmother's. She passed away last year, and well,
I'm sorry for your loss. I'm sure that she meant a lot to you, didn't she?
yeah, yeah, she did. She's a great woman, and after my mom, hmm, after my mom left, she took care of us.
Hmm. I can understand why you would feel that life treating you like it has would mean that God can't be. But I know he says, and the sizing her up uh, look in his face has disappeared, and and has been replaced with a, okay, let's do this. Look, he looks at her and says, but I know for a fact that God exists, and that it is that he cares about the world. Um, and do you want to know the reason why I know this?
She looks a little skeptic as she looks up at you, raising her eyebrow. She doesn't say anything. She just
He looks
looks.
at me. And then now my question is, if I want to just activate my apocalyptic form
Hmm.
without rolling, how long will that take?
A couple of minutes.
Um, can I do something else while I do it, or do I need to be completely focused on doing that?
No, you will be focused on that because
Okay, okay,
it's not an entirely pleasant
okay,
experience, I think.
okay, good. So he will look at her and say, if you will indulge me for just 2 minutes, uh, I will. It will be clear to you, but just if you can give me 2 minutes of silence, he says, and then closes his eyes and looks down on it, like rests his head on his chest, as if in concentration.
Mhm. She shifts a little on the chair as she's not really sure what's gonna happen now, and
Mm.
definitely feeling awkward.
Yep.
She just sips her coffee and watches you
Mhm.
intensely. From time to time, her gaze just goes out out of the window where she can you can still hear the the students outside.
And yeah, so I think he keeps focusing, and after what, a couple of minutes,
Mm-hmm.
uh, he, ta-da, poof, changes into
Ta-da,
Chingu.
poof.
Uh,
Ta-da, poof. Okay. So please be kind enough to describe what you look like.
yeah. Uh, his apocalyptic form is Chingu, the Visage of Radiance, which is, and I'm sorry, I'm going to have to read this, an incandescent figure of wreath and a corona of jewel-like color. It is an intensely bright being. He shines with the force of the sun, but not like you won't go blind looking at him, but it's not entirely pleasant either. Kind of like a sharp light bulb or something like that, only a little bit like slightly more intense. And he will he will I am guessing he would be like much bigger, larger in figure than his normal form would be. Um,
Actually, no, I don't
no.
think so.
Okay.
Because that
Okay.
is a that is a real
That's the high torment version.
no, that also is a an APOC feat, but not for your
Okay.
particular visage.
Okay. Good. So he is a bright, like a being of light, so to speak. Um, and he looks at her,
You
and
should
he
get the
and
wings, maybe. It's like
uh, do,
there are okay. Let me just give you
do the
because
wings come out automatically? Okay.
well,
I
it
didn't know that.
depends. Are you gonna invoke everything or just the But basically,
Okay.
what you have is you have the wings, you have the inhuman allure, and the radiant aura.
Oh yeah.
Sense the hidden, but that is something that. So I think if I may,
Yeah.
I would say that during those minutes that you start focusing, the light starts to intensify in the office, but it's not coming from outside. It's coming from Jacob. Um, Camellia, on her turn, she is staring at him, her eyes slowly growing and growing, and she looks like she's frozen on her seat now as the light
Mm,
intensifies more and more and more until there is like a flash of light
mm,
that blinds everybody. It might even be seen outside, although people can shove it off like, oh, there is a flash, someone's using a
yeah.
flashlight.
Yeah.
Um,
I
and
think.
as Camellia can see again, she will see you clad in light, radiating, wings spread out to
Yeah.
both sides of Jacob.
Yeah. He's using his wings, his inhuman allure, and his radiant aura.
Exactly, and he's stood up. I can imagine him standing up and maybe
Hmm.
floating like a little bit to elevate himself a little bit above the desk. We can take that creative freedom at the moment. And
Yeah. Yeah.
Camellia is sitting on her chair and she just stares. And I need to roll a because this is something that she did not expect when she came here, and
Yeah.
you did not really prepare her for this. So she's gonna roll her stamina um, to see. I want to make her like this, so she will have a high stamina. So that's her luck to see if she won't faint or anything. And whoops, there she goes. She just topples
Oh God.
from the chair on the floor.
Mm.
But as she does, and as she stared at you for a few seconds, you can feel the faith at that point building up inside of you.
Yay.
And you have what's your total faith score? Because you can sense the faith now. What's your faith score?
My permanent faith is 3.
3. Okay, so you can now reap that faith. You can reap up to 2 if you want. No, you can reap up to 3 if you want. I just need to look something up real quick.
Don't want to hurt her while doing it.
Okay, in that case, it would probably be safest to just take 1. Mm, I think maybe uh, you can take 2.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you can take 2 without really damaging her. Let's just say that you can take
Good.
2 face from her as her body kind of slides on the ground.
And like he when he senses that that she's passed out, he looks around and he takes bum, bum, bum. Like he takes his coat that he probably has in his office and like folds it up and puts it under her head as a pillow to like so she's at least somewhat comfortable until she wakes up again.
Which will happen 10 minutes later because I rolled a d10 for that. And of course now I roll a 10 because it's like when you need it, it's not there. It's hey, if you don't
Exactly.
need it, like.
Murphy's
So,
law.
are you gonna do anything else in those 10 minutes?
No, like I'm just gonna stand around and wait. I don't think that it costs him anything to maintain the form.
No, 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 no.
So so he So he will wait until she regains consciousness, and when he sees at some point that she starts to open her eyes, he will use his voice of heaven. Um, and yeah, yeah, voice of heaven. That is two successes,
Mm-hmm.
and he will say, "Do not fear, Camellia. I am nothing. I am not going to hurt you. Do not be frightened."
Mm-hmm. Voice of heaven, voice of heaven, voice of heaven. Let's look up
It's
what
not
that
command
does.
as such, is it?
No, no, no. Voice of heaven was. Let's see.
Maybe it should have been exalt instead, but okay.
Mm, yeah, no, she. It's fine. Everyone up to a distance of 10 yards times her faith. Okay, so your faith at the moment is, or it's your permanent faith. So, diff 8, or focus on a single individual, diff 6. So, what did you do? Did you choose the distance or the individual? I guess the
The
individual,
individual.
but
Yeah,
still.
yeah. The individual.
Okay, so, so she opens up her eyes and she seems to she opens her mouth and a whimper comes out, and then you usher your command, not be afraid, and her eyes just fill up with tears and she just starts crying because this is one of the most beautiful things that she's ever seen and probably will ever see in her entire life. And she puts her hands in front of her mouth and her eyes, and she just weeps as she looks at you.
And as she does that, now he does not command, but he still says with that like special voice that he has. There is nothing to fear, Camellia. I am I was created by God Himself at the dawn of time. I heard His voice. I heard His voice from others of my kind. I carried His commands to the far reaches of the stars. I rejoiced before His face in the morning of the dawn of the first dawn of the earth. I know God exists. Oh God, what did you
No,
bust?
no,
Oh,
no,
did
no,
you bust?
no.
Okay,
Don't
good.
worry, don't worry. Rolling some dice from time to time. Usually, you don't have anything to worry about. Usually.
Usually.
As you talk, the tears are still flowing. It's like she's almost impossible to stop. But she gets up very slowly as she just walks forward towards you and kind of stretches out her hand, which is shivering and shaking, and just touches
Mm,
your cheek.
and he lets her without any like without doing anything.
You're you're an angel. That's not possible. It's just not
And
possible.
yet here I am. He smiles in the like in a kind way that she probably has that it's probably been a while since she's seen a kind smile. So he smiles disarmingly and says, "It would appear so to many today. Many people have lost faith, Camellia, but it is true. I am. Your eyes are not deceiving you."
Actually, can you do me a favor and roll me a make it manipulation subterfuge?
Manipulation, subterfuge.
Because,
Yeah,
well, you are an angel, you're a fallen angel, but there are certain things that you're like not saying, like you're a demon from the pit of
that's
hell.
true. Well, one success and a 10 at that. Oh God, how it would have been awful if I'd botched this roll, but
Those
luckily.
are 3 successes, not one. That's there are
Oh
two
yeah, it's
tens and a
standard difficulty.
six.
Oh yeah, that's three successes actually. Yeah.
and she is in awe of what you are and what you say. So she's not thinking anything else, that there might be something wrong or anything. She's not even sensing that at the moment. She's completely
Right
baffled,
now.
and she just as her fingers just kind of go from your cheek past your neck, and she seems to want to touch the wings, but that's where it's really, really difficult for her. She's not doing it. Her hand just stops like in front of the wing, and then she uh, takes it back and kind of grabs it with the other hand as if she cannot believe that she actually just touched an angel, and she's just looking at you. It's not possible. It's just not possible.
You may touch my wing if you want to.
No, 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 no. No. I,
You
I,
have nothing to fear from me, Camellia. We are not. We were created by the highest to serve him and to serve humanity, and
I
that is what some of us still want to do.
have to go now. And she just runs. She makes a run out of the office. She literally just
Mm,
opens the door, runs out, and slams the door slams shut behind her as she is gone.
yeah. Jacob doesn't take any steps to go after her. First of all, because he's in his apocalyptic form, and it wouldn't really do to roam the halls in that form. Um, so first of all, he like after a few moments when I'm guessing she's not coming back, right?
No, she's out.
Yeah, she's out of there. So
If you would look out of the window, you can see her just running over the Fortum grounds, bumping
yeah,
into a few people, maybe looking at them, kind of bewildered, and just keep on running and running and running until she
yeah.
disappears into the park that you had to go through last
Uh,
time in order to get to your car.
after a few moments, when it becomes clear to him that she's not coming back, he reverts to his Jacob form, uh, and smiles, and then sits back down to keep correcting papers.
Okay, as you sit down again, you will notice that next to the chair where she was sitting, you will see a purse that she left there, and it is there that we will end the scene.
Yeah.